Yo folks, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'll be covering some mistakes to avoid for Artery Gear Fusion. Let's jump right into this with my first mistake, which was ignoring rookie training right here. If you actually look around at some of the missions and what they provide, go to stage 1 because this is where you start. You will see that you will get gear from this. This ancient metal stuff, this Mark III, is actually going to be an attack set that's very useful. You actually go to stage 3 and you go to mission 11 right here. This will provide the Ancient Metal Blast Gun Mark V. And this rolls around to my biggest mistake, which I am still like pounding myself in the head for. Go to regular supply. They give you this Ancient Metal Blast Gun. Guess what mark it is? It's number 5. It's the same exact thing that you get absolutely for free. And it costs 100 jewels or 100 premium currency. I could have used that stuff to summon or refresh my stamina. By the way, we'll talk about refreshing stamina, whether it's worth it. But you can see here, there's a gun right here, a gun right here, and then I have a spare gun. And the reason why I didn't upgrade the spare gun is because I shouldn't be using all of my upgrade material willy-nilly like this. That was a huge mistake on my part for buying this gun, because now I just have a set that's just laying around and I just stare at it being like, oh god, this was just a waste of 100 jewels right here, and it's a huge feels bad, man. And all I can do is stare at it and just be really sad because it could have been used for something else. Be careful with what you upgrade, because this +1 gun, it serves no purpose, right? But this +3 speed set, it's pretty decent because I can use it at least early on to abuse speed mechanics. Is this something to look into? Getting that first line, if it's decent, you can +3, just because you can get some decent gear sets. And just note, this is a 5-star piece of gear, so I can rotate it on other people, at least early on. Just don't go too crazy. This rolls around into my other things, where in the rookie missions, you will get a 6-star piece of gear. I'll show you where you can get it, but make sure to lock this stuff, okay? You can actually just willy-nilly upgrade +12 fodder, which is just a monumental mistake of its own. Or you could, use 5-star gear and just upgrade it. This is how I am missing some sets of gear, because I just hit the recommend button, and the recommend button is just going to be like, oh, I'm just going to slam everything in there. So you don't know what you're missing. You could be missing like this attack set just because you just upgraded it and used it as fodder. Don't make that mistake of not just locking your gear. It's just super easy. Just, hit this lock button. I unlocked it. Now it's locked. So pretty cool right there. And this rolls around into the next things, where you should sort of learn what your artery gears or your waifus do. So for example, Gingo right here and her skills at the beginning, it's all debuff oriented. She needs that electric shock capabilities, right? So make sure to start giving her the status accuracy set. So this increases her ability to land status effects. It's just really nice. You don't have to upgrade it like me. You can just wear the bare minimum set. If it has like, status accuracy 12.2%, that's really good. If you're wondering where did I get this, I farmed it at Centaur. It's just really nice, right? And I farmed it early on Centaur 5. And some of you might be wondering, why did you farm Centaur 5? There's going to be missions that tell you to accumulate up to 80 target eliminations. So that's why I was doing that. And not to mention, this rolls around to my other thing. Don't ignore the pre-mission briefing right here, the red little square, because this is going to be providing you a free 5-star, which isn't the greatest, but it's going to help you, progress within the game. And yeah, this is Shinobi right here. You get her absolutely for free, which I think is pretty cool. You know how the characters work and what skills that they use, and like, hey, Ginga's good for debuffing. This also rolls around to what skills should be you using during the AI fight. So if you go into teams right here, and then you look at Ginga's plan, and I have it so that her S2, this ability right here, the dominating aura, gets casted first, right? And then I go to this skill, Shikigami Spirit, which is, the more debuffs they have, the better. Because remember, if you can proc this skill, then you get debuffs, and if it actually has an electric shock trigger, then she'll do a second attack. So you'll have 3 debuffs at minimum when you do Shikigami Spirit, which will do more damage. And yeah, that's just ways. Don't do it so that the S3 gets casted first, because you're missing out on a huge amount of damage. And for example, another AI plan that I like for Morris is you cast her S2 first, but make sure she prioritizes position 3, which is where my Morris is sitting right here in position 3. If she's sitting in the front like this, that's position 1, just for reference. Make sure to set this, that way she can spam her AoE abilities, right? Specifically her S3 right here, which is the AoE heal spam. If you can prioritize her, which the AI will do, then things will be a little bit better. Obviously, you could just play on manual, but it's just some min-max things that you could do early on in the game, just so you can get, the maximum things set out for your AI battle. How do I acquire materials to upgrade my characters? If you look at rookie training, a lot of the stuff that you get is like the EXP cats, you get like the equipment gear upgrades, which is really important. You get these intermediate decoder chips, which is important for, upgrading the skills for your different characters, in case you didn't know what that was. So for example, if I go to Morris right here and I click one of her skills and I hit upgrade, you're going to be seeing it's the intermediate decoder chip. These decoder chips are very important. I guess it's your Molagoras for Epic 7 fans. It's just skill up material that you can get. And also the rookie missions force you to do like hard mode, which is really important because hard mode is going to be one of the few areas that's going to be providing you a lot of the idle mechanics. So for example, you get like the idle material right here. If you don't know what I'm referencing, if you actually jump into your fleet right here, armament ship, right? For example, you hit upgrade, you can see I have Cat Orb Factory level 4. And the reason for that is because I actually get this material from the actual hard missions, right? If you complete the storyline. I recommend doing the cat farms first, just because you need a little bit of that at the very beginning. Don't go too crazy. Obviously, don't do the level 4 upgrade because that's a huge mistake. You're going to be using 300,000 gold and you need that gold for gear. So I should start working on my supply ship right here because eventually it can pay for itself a little bit because this thing provides a decent amount of gold. So 3,865, and that's fine. So just upgrade sparingly. Don't use all of your gold at once because next thing you know, you might not have enough gold to upgrade anything. And then some of you might be wondering, what exactly do you do to level up your characters if you're not using the cat EXP? Make sure to go into the Asura event or whichever event is available for you. This is the best area to farm. For example, 3.9 and 3.10 is really good in order to acquire fodder. These little robot guys in order to start 6-starring your units. This is very, very important. And not to mention you get some of, the event currency and the jade, which is really important as well. And if you're wondering, let's just talk about the event really quick. This is an example for any event. Make sure to get like some of the summon currencies, right? And the decoder chips, because this stuff, the advanced decoder chip, which is the 5-star Molagora, is insanely rare. Of course, get like the enhancement material for the gear because that's super rare. Get your dupes because that's important. And of course, get the Alphors. Let's go ahead and talk about the Alphors. This is the mistake that I made early on, right? Make sure when you're upgrading these dudes, use like other Alphors as fodder. So you see how it says level max? You don't want to do that because you can actually use these Alphors to, quickly upgrade each other. So for example, this max upgraded Alphor right here, I could get her to 4-star or him or whichever, and I could use the fodder that I acquired from the events in order to upgrade him. And this rolls around to another thing that it's like a quick mistake that I made was, manually upgrading them. You can just go to quick start up right here. It's a nice quality of life. I hope Epic 7 has something like this. And there you go. You don't have to fumble through the menus and UIs. You can just click this convenient button right there and it does everything for you. So I think that's very nice. And the last thing that I want to cover, which is of course important, make sure to do your dailies, not the target missions, that's obvious. The biggest one is data collection right here. I made the mistake of not farming this blue stage enough, the Artillery Dreamland, and I have to wait 13 hours before I can farm it. And technology in this game is insanely important. If you don't know what I'm referencing, technology right here. If I could get to phase 6, I can get 12% status accuracy. That's insane. And that's just her, living and breathing and being alive. Not to mention each upgrade gives me HP and attack. So these basic upgrades are so important. And if I farmed technology seriously when it was appropriately available within the days, then I could have more speed, I could have more status accuracy, and I wouldn't have to wear this janky status effects set, which provides technically nothing. And I could actually use this crit set that's on my Grace. Crit set is decent on her for her to deal more damage, but it doesn't make sense to put the crit set on Ginga if she can't even, land her electrical shocks, because her electrical shock damage is her bread and butter for her S3 to trigger a monumental amount of damage. It's just one of those things that I want us to get, because technology being time gated and not farming it appropriately can really hurt your progression as you're jumping through the different things in the game. Also, in the exercise, this is a huge mistake that I don't like, is the fact that you can do training mode right here and you can challenge a bot. So right here, we're in the fight. Let's go ahead and just leave the battle. Yep, you leave the battle and we get +0, which is even worse. So don't leave the battles for those. That's really terrible. I didn't know that. And it does consume a daily challenge, which is even worse. Right there, you can at least see what a victory looks like in exercise. You get +3 badges, +3 in the robot thing, right? So now that you've seen what a robot win is, right here, you one-shot them, right? We're probably gonna one-shot this person. Of course, account into the fact that there's elemental advantages and whatnot. That's really important. So I do weak damage because this person is green and I'm blue. Important things that you need to pay attention to. You can see I got 10 exercise badges, which is of course really nice if you win, right? But I only got +3 for doing like the training modes. Let's see, is this person Uber? Yeah, they got like level 50s and 2 level 60s. Oh my God. There's no way we're gonna win this. It is still worth it to lose on this. So if you actually hit pause right here and you just leave the battle, yes, you can do that. Is it worth it? Yeah, in some ways, because it's +4. It's better than fighting a bot. That's the thing that I wanted to show you. And then you can always just refresh, do a free refresh. Yes, it like resets your win streak, but you save some pride, I guess, in some ways, because now you can bully like a different team. This team is level 22, so I can definitely bully them. There's a lot of different things in this game. It doesn't explain, like just getting gear here, making sure to farm the event, because this is going to be the best place to get early game levels. Not to mention, it'll just be nice to get all the different event stuff, which is really going to be good for summoning and going to be available all the time, right? And just going through all of these like hidden missions, go through the events, make sure to get like the free summons, because there's just a lot of stuff that's locked behind like certain UI that I don't know why it's just not all on the missions tab. It would have been a little bit easier. It's like my one gripe, but hey, it's not that bad at the end of the day, right? This game has a lot of quality of life. I'm just nitpicking at this point. I love Artery Gear Fusion, and I hope this video helps you out. Anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Once we hit 35,000 subs, we're doing a giveaway. Have yourself a fantastic day, and see you guys in the next one.